Can somebody please tell me exactly what does Scottie Pippen think he's accomplishing by doing any of this? So if you haven't heard, Scottie Pippen is continuing his one-way argument against Michael Jordan. In which case, Michael Jordan's response has been exactly this. That's right. Now in case you might indicate something else, it's already well known that this bridge has been burned. Anyone that knows anything about Michael Jordan, even though you might not know him personally, knows that he's the type of guy that once you cross him, he's basically done with you. And to me, quite frankly, his response has been nothing short of brilliance, because the silence kinda denotes, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, but it does denote the fact that you're so low on the totem pole that you're not actually worth me wasting the breath that it takes to respond back to you. He's commended this guy, he's complimented him, he said that there is no Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen, and for Scottie to continue to go on this tirade, who knows, maybe Michael's just more disappointed, or he might just be hurt. But Scottie decided upon himself that he's gonna lash out and take some more shots and issue some more comments. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play what it is that Scottie had to say, and then we're gonna come back and then we're gonna comment on it. But before we get into it, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and consider subscribing.
LeBron will be the greatest statistical guy to ever play the game of basketball. And there's no comparison to him. None. So, does that make him the greatest player to ever play the game? I'll leave that out for debating, because I don't believe that there's a great player, because our game is a team game, and one player can't do it. Like, I seen Michael Jordan play before I came to play with the Bulls. You guys seen him play. He's a horrible player. He was horrible to play with. He was all one-on-one. He's shooting bad shots. And all of a sudden, we become a team and we start winning. Everybody forgot who he was.
Alright, so that's what Scottie had to say in this instance. Now let's dig into this a bit. So beyond just the attacks, what you'll notice that Scottie keeps on harping on is the playing style of Michael, saying that it was individual, saying that it was solo, and he made a specific point saying that he was just horrible to play with. But beyond all that, and this is why people are calling it bitter, is because he said that he's not just horrible to play with, but he was actually a horrible player. Very few of us, if anyone, actually knows Michael personally, except for maybe a handful of people. But if there's one consensus I think we can all agree on, there's no way anyone can conclude Michael Jordan was a horrible player. You could make the argument, I think, for anyone that you might not like how someone plays as a team sport. For instance, and this is an argument that some people have made actually, that when it comes to LeBron, superstars or stars have to kind of pull themselves back because he dictates so much of the offense that it can make him difficult to play with. They said the same thing about Kobe. Kobe was difficult to play with. They could have said the same thing about Magic, Larry Bird, Kareem. It's normally because the person in charge of the team has one sole responsibility: win the game.
Michael, game on the line, who would take the last shot?
Me. That's a dumb question. Me.
At any cost, as the floor general, win the game. And personally, and this is just my opinion, but as a two-way player, I don't think I've seen anyone better than Michael. Scottie Pippen, much like everyone else, was a role player. Michael was a role player, but he knew what role he had to play. He was the leader of the team. Tony Kukoc had his role, Steve Kerr had his role, Dennis Rodman had his role, Luke Longley even had his. And as a team, they damn near did the Captain Planet thing, which is their powers all combined to make what I consider to be the perfect basketball team. But let's get back to Scottie's comments. If you notice something, he made sure to note that LeBron will be statistically the greatest player to ever play basketball. And he's not wrong in that aspect. If we're just talking raw statistics, LeBron has the numbers to match. Humor me for a second. I can't actually explain a player like LeBron. How he manages to continue to play at the level that he plays at his age has caused me to re-examine what an NBA player can potentially play at in their late 30s. But there is something else to be noted in this. If I take what Scottie is saying, and then I preface the fact that I know that he has some level of hostility towards Michael. Not that I'm a Jordan apologist, but in him saying that, and then prefacing that by then stating that there is no comparison, coupled with the question that he then asks after, which is, does that make him the greatest player to ever play the game? If he had simply left that there, then everything would be okay. But Notice what he does afterwards. He goes about 3 different steps to eliminate Michael even from the conversation of being the greatest. 1. Michael cannot achieve this because statistically, he does not have all of the numbers. 2. It's a team sport, so therefore one man cannot win it all, which means that there is no one man that can carry a team, which is correct. No one has ever claimed that. But then when he gets into the conversation of actually talking about the greatest, he then personalizes it by then stating he has seen Michael play. And this is before he came to play with the Bulls, and he refers to him as a horrible player. Well, you're never going to classify someone who is technically a horrible player to be the greatest of all time, and no one in any way is taking anything away from Scottie Pippen, his achievements, or his contributions to the team. But that little comment that he made, that he saw him play before he came to play with the Bulls, which would be in '84, and referring to him as a horrible player in that instance. Let me ask you guys something. Has anyone ever taken the time to see Michael's actual stats, taking into consideration the nature of the teams that he had to play against? The level of defense that was emphasized? The level of physicality that had to be considered? And if there's one thing that I will grant Scottie, he wasn't wrong when he criticized Michael for actually saying that he shot bad shots. That is technically true. If you look at Michael Jordan's shots, those shots that he was putting up, no coach on the planet would ever tell a player, these are the type of shots that you need to take. But the problem is, whether he was pulling up from the mid-range or he was taking a highly contested layup, those are still technically bad shots. He just made more than he missed. The next time you watch the top 10 of Michael Jordan, top 50, don't pay so much attention to the actual shot that he's making. Listen to the announcers.
Jordan on the move, baseline left. Huh? Oh, no. Oh, no. We never saw that, have we? No. Happy birthday, Mike. Jordan past Petrovic. Whoa! Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Notice the pattern. They're all always stunned at the type of shot that he makes because it's not normal. No coach on the planet, Phil Jackson, would never recommend to his players that this is the type of shot that you need to make. So, fundamentally, Scottie is right. Michael did take bad shots. But the difference is when you can hang in the air for what feels like an extra 2 or 3 seconds, you got a lot of time to adjust. And I know that this gets stated enough, but when Michael got into the league, he was not playing with another all-star. He wasn't playing with another superstar. He wasn't even playing with a team that had any playoff aspirations. And when Scottie got into the league, and I'm sure that this is something that people are going to start to do if he keeps on going on this little tirade, he averaged 7.9 points in his rookie year to Michael's 28.2 in his rookie year. When Michael got in the league, he was playing 38.3 minutes a game. When Scottie got in the league from 87 to 88, he was averaging 20.9 minutes per game. Mike in his rookie season averaged 6.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, 2.4 steals, and had a free throw percentage of 84.5 in his rookie year. Scottie averaged 3.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 1.2 steals, and his free throw percentage was just about 58%. Again, this is not to take a jab at the guy, but I'm pretty sure who had the better rookie season. But later on as they would develop, Scottie got a lot better, which is why this two is specifically considered to be the greatest tandem ever. Now, I'd be doing a huge disservice if I didn't address this next part, because there is also the notion floating around there that this is simply in retaliation to something going on, namely because of Scottie's situation with Larsa. Now, I don't know how true this is. I can't prove it, you can't. But it is a well-known fact that Marcus Jordan has been rearranging the insides of Larsa Pippen. So some people are alluding to the fact that this is why he's frustrated. Others are saying it's because of his treatment on The Last Dance. And some people like me are saying that it's a combination of both. Either way, this has nothing to do with LeBron. This has nothing to do with the fact that Scottie thinks that LeBron will be the greatest player of all time. This almost has nothing to do with Jordan. This is literally the example of a one-way argument. And Michael Jordan, who I'm very sure is a very smart man, needs to continue to do exactly what it is that he's doing in response to this. Nothing. It does make me question something though, and you guys tell me what you think. If Scottie is making mention that he's always felt like this, or maybe he has always felt like this, it says something about your guts to actually speak up. I think most people prefer, in the long run, dealing with someone that will let you know how they really feel about you, as opposed to burying that feeling deep down and then one day letting it all just spill out. If Scottie really has felt like this for this entire time during that whole Bulls run, I think that actually says a lot more about him and his character than it does about Mike, which is really just a shame. But let me know what it is that you guys think. Do you agree with Scottie? Do you think Michael was a horrible player? Horrible to play with? Actually, even I might agree on that part. He probably was horrible to play with. You might win, and you might get to the destination, but you might not enjoy the trip on how you get there. But that is kind of the way of the world. That's kind of how it is dealing with people that know what they're doing. They may not be the easiest to deal with, but when they can bring you somewhere, and they're absolutely determined to get all of the potential that you have in you out of you, the result might be nice, but the process might not be fun. So why do you think Scottie's doing this? Is he bitter? Does he have more to say? Is he trying to sell his book? Or is Marcus Jordan and Michael Jordan really living rent-free in Scottie's head? Whatever it is, let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys again for the next one. Be easy, y'all.
Michael, game on the line. Who would take the last shot?
Me. That's a dumb question. Me.